Hello, my name is Sophia, and I wanted to leave a message for the upcoming full moon, which will be taking place tomorrow evening at 10:34 p.m. on the 17th on the eastern coastline. You must adjust for your location. This full moon is in the Virgo Pisces axis is being activated. And shortly thereafter, within a 24-hour period, actually, just short 1 hour short of 24, at 10:44 in the evening, again on the eastern coast, the moon will be there'll be a full, not a full, there'll be an eclipse, which is almost full. And so these events, when they happen on this axis, gives us an opportunity. That would be the Virgo Pisces axis, gives us an opportunity because the sun will be placed in Virgo and the moon will be in Pisces. The moon, our emotional need for security, for certainty, is going to be challenged because there is no certainty at this time about much, right? We have Pluto retrograde currently as well. And Pluto is there's actually a kite formation, which means an alignment of several different bodies within our solar system at the time of both the full moon and the eclipse. And there are planets that are being activated that have a transpersonal impact on society. They activate a collective, the collective consciousness. And these alignments will bring a different area of life vividly to the forefront for different generations. For example, it is being activated for baby boomers. It is being activated for Generation X and a different angle of relationship. It is being activated for everyone all over the planet at once, because the transpersonal planets have that impact. They're not personal planets, being that they're not their potential is on a larger scale. It's not just your own personal life that's being impacted in a specific way. It takes these planets many years to move from one side to another. For example, we're just having Pluto, after its retrograde, go direct, and it will be placed in the sign of Aquarius for 20 years. So that'll be a 20-year period where everyone who is born or over the course of that time will have Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. And so in the past, for example, for those born in the 60s, they may have this Pluto and Uranus alignment in the sign of Leo, or rather Virgo. And so this has brought forth during this time a generation of people with incredible interest in the healing arts and health, and many folks that are now in their 40s, 50s, and 60s have ushered in an understanding about holistic and integrative health that was maybe that could not have been given birth to in the 50s, because the alignment didn't exist. And when I refer to the alignment, I'm actually referring to that potential of energy, which many call frequency, or you can call it a vibration. But we are living in an ocean of consciousness, and that ocean is impressed by the angles of relationship, particularly on this planet, by the angles of relationship of the planets in our solar system. So this Virgo Pisces axis gives us an opportunity to ground ourselves spiritually, and also to seek material grounding. you know, what is of value, what is of importance, what is necessary during this time for us to pull through. And so many will find themselves searching for that spiritual foundation through which all things are possible, right? Because if you realize your connection to source, which is activated in the sign of Pisces, with Vesica Pisces, which is the opening of the yoni, right? Of the life-giving force of nature. And so we have an opportunity during this time to really tap into the life source energy, without which we would not be here, without which the planet would not be able to give us sweet, juicy fruits, right? Because if we live on a dead planet, then the planet cannot produce nourishment and support for those of us who inhabit this amazing organism that we call Earth. And Virgo gives us the opportunity to do just that, because Virgo is an earth sign. It is of discernment, the discernment that is present in nature, the discernment that is present in the seed of an acorn that will only give you an oak tree, right? Like you can't plant an apple seed and get peaches. So that level of discernment that is present in the consciousness of matter becomes available for us to tap into its life force energy. And that is super powerful. That's a super powerful way to live, particularly during a time when we have the energy of Saturn, you know, the tough love that we give ourselves, because perhaps we may not be living up to the fullest potential that we know that we have. And so Saturn will create boundaries and create challenges, not Saturn itself, but our own subconscious that understands challenge will create challenge based on the frequency. It'll pull from that frequency of Saturn to to create checkpoints in our life, right? So unless you're clear within and you understand that anything is possible, and that you have a connection to source, and you have a spiritual understanding, a more occult spiritual understanding of how to work with this energy, you will imbibe it in such a way based on the fears and the sadness or the guilt or the shame. You will imbibe that frequency in such a way as to create challenges so that you can seek out opportunities to reconnect with source energy. And because Saturn is currently in the sign of Pisces, Pisces is a sign of the collective unconscious, and it's the waters of consciousness, right? Neptune is it's the home of the Neptunian force, and Neptune is Varunas, the god of the waters in the Vedic tradition. And so the waters of consciousness itself. And interesting, its vehicle is the Trishula, or the, you know, for Poseidon in the Greek pantheon, it would have the, I can't think of the name, this right here. So, and these three upward pointing arrows signify the mind, the actions, and the thoughts, and how we want to cast that upward into the realm of all possibilities, which exists as the basis of creation, right? So we have our understanding now in quantum physics is that there is a field of pure potential, and we tap into that field by aligning our inner body, our both physical, mental, emotional, astral, our full energy, our sheath of pure potential. We honor that by casting an upward intention to align within on all through actions, mind, body, spirit, right? Mind, body, spirit is the is the is is the triune God, right? Which we know is one. But when we are within ourselves united in that way, that's where the spiritual energy of all that is lives within us, lives within us in awareness. It's always living within us. It's just a matter of reflecting within ourselves to recognize that the all, that you are that, right? That the all lives within you. And when your actions and thoughts and deeds and feelings are aligned in such a way, then you are working with the full potential. And so when Saturn is in Pisces, it's an attempt to build a solid structure, a foundation for the goat, for the mountain climbing goat, right? The greatest of all time, becomes about creating a spiritual life that supports and envelops you, where you feel love, where you feel gratitude, where you are fully in awareness that you are surrounded by the pure power of all that is. And so when we have the two luminaries in our solar system glancing at each other in full frontal contact with each other, right? With the sun, with the backdrop of stars behind it in Virgo, and you have the moon with the backdrop of stars in Pisces. And remember, the moon, the moon would be in Pisces in the moon is in Pisces, and so would be the earth. So spiritualizing your life, we are the earth, right? So spiritualizing our life becomes incredibly potent during this time. Hi, my name is Sophia. This is your channel. I am Soma. I am going to talk a little bit more about the world of possibilities that is opening up before us during this time. And I want to mention that the alignment at this time does bring incredible spiritual depth and intensity. We have at the cusp on the rising sign, we have the planet of the Uranus. And Uranus is of shakeups, and Uranus is located right now at the very beginning of Gemini, and Gemini is a sign of duality, meaning that it becomes overshadowed by its identification with the object, with the objects of the world. It sees something broken and it feels bad because it's broken. And this is just it might be a silly example, but whereas someone who would not have the that signification in their chart may see it as, oh, it broke. Oh, no use crying over spilled milk, right? So that's the difference with Gemini. Is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury right now is in Virgo, and so it is very well placed, and it's in good communication with the sign of Gemini, which it also rules, right? So it is not debilitated. So we have an opportunity here for lightning-like Uranus, understanding of the difference between the I am and the smaller I, right? The I that for many intents and purposes, all evolutionary, has a full identification with the object instead of a more subjective approach to life, which would need grounding in spiritual life. And because we have Saturn in the sign of Pisces, establishing ourselves in that may prove a challenge. So there's so much to talk about. It is also activating Pluto. It is activating Neptune. We have activation. The moon is very close to Neptune during this time. So emotional instability, insecurity, fear of the unknown, escapism, becoming so connected to the technology that you disconnect from yourself, lack of groundedness. These are all incredibly incredibly active at this time. So what do I want to say about all of that, right? The sun is it's more than a 10-degree orb with both Mercury and with the south node. The moon and the south node and Neptune are not quite there yet, but they're all in the same within a 10 to 15 degree orb. So there's some energy that's being exchanged there, and we want to be able to maintain a sense of self. And so for the next 72 hours, be with yourself. Feel whatever feelings come up, allow them to wash over you. Sobriety, sovereignty, self-determination, and being self-referral, meaning whenever you feel like there's something inside that's tight and in your heart, and you're feeling any waves of self-doubt, or maybe you want to run out the door and just grab onto some distraction, this is not the time. This is the time for alignment. With what? Pluto. This is so major. Pluto is the loner of the zodiac. Pluto is claiming its power back from the minutia. Pluto is taking no prisoners at this time. Pluto is detached, and so is Saturn in the collective. That's going to prove to be interesting. There could be a whirlwind of thoughts and information coming in, particularly over the next 2 days. There are many events which are planned during this time, specifically to grab your attention. So setting up something to keep you from the distractions in life, and engaging a more present style of functioning with life. Just come back to yourself, back to the breath, back to your heartbeat, back to the life inside of you, back to gratitude, back to journaling, art, the arts right now, poetry, journaling, storytelling, story writing, are great anchors for energy right now. Cleansing your space, purification of the body, physical body, the body of your space, the body of your life, right? The body of your family. If you think of your family, we can all conceive of the body of your family or friends, right? Like, how do you clean that up in such a way that you're making space and making room for what's going to come through when Pluto goes direct in November? And there is an alignment right now that's present with regards to, hold on. With the moon in Pisces, there's going to be, this alignment brings perceptivity, but it requires silence, inner silence. And so your practices, whether you sit and you practice gratitude, or you close your eyes and you just go back to your breath, as I said previously, or you actually have a practice. I personally practice transcendental meditation, and I have found it to be a transformative experience. I've been practicing for 13 years, and it's a very precious practice. I also do yoga asanas and stretch the body to release any tension that may have gotten caught in the body, because when tension gets caught in the muscles, it has memory. And so they're like living structures living within the muscle tissue of the body and the different organs within the physiology. So another reason I'm also an Ayurvedic practitioner, where I watch my diet and I eat according to my doshas. If any of you have any questions about any of this, just leave a comment in the comment section and ask. I'd be more than happy to share what I know, or give you access to information that I know comes from a reliable source, so that you can begin to investigate into these arts, healing arts. And so let me see what else I can say before I let you go. The moon will be in sextile to Uranus and conjunction to Neptune, sextile to Pluto. Yeah, it's pretty, I would not be surprised that there is some shakeup in terms of, physical seismic activity on planet Earth. That is a lot of energy that's coming directly. What activates the frequencies that are present is in alignment with the moon, right? And if the moon is in alignment with the sun, it's square Jupiter. Jupiter expands everything it touches. And if it's squaring the moon, it's squaring the emotional receptivity of all organisms on this planet, right? That have a nervous system through which to feel emotion. So, most animals and humans and the earth itself will, and plants, everything is going to feel this. So there's going to be some activity here that is going to be surprising. It's going to be shocking. And I believe that seismic activity may be taking place, because it's also with air, and there is a square, if I'm not mistaken, there's also a square with Mars, which is very impulsive energy, just wants everything yesterday and wants to move ahead. Mars is the spiritual warrior, however. So those of us who have a practice and will dedicate our time and our attention and our energy to that more pointedly may have breakthroughs, because Uranus is the sign of innovation and breakthroughs, and an alignment with Pluto and Neptune speaks to the need and the desire that we all have right now for some spiritual anchoring in our life. And the spiritual is a connection to source, and however you conceive of that, however it is that makes sense for you. And this is not a conversation that you necessarily need to have with anyone but yourself. So again, because the Plutonic energy is of wealth, and wealth of knowledge, wealth of health, wealth of gratitude, wealth of material resources. These are all available to you. And if you have gotten any less than that, then you have asked for less. So getting clear on your work with source, I think is the most poignant message that I can leave on this channel today. I wish you all, I send you all my love. My true desire for peace and love and prosperity and abundance in my own life, and I share that with all of you. May it multiply exponentially throughout this entire universe, and peace be on this planet. And remember that peace begins with with us, with our peaceful nature within. You cannot, if you're, oh, I don't, I'll suffer. I just don't want other people to suffer. Then you're not being completely, fully, you're not taking care of yourself. So you can only give that which you have. So you can't pour from an empty cup. And so self-care is the pivotal shift that we are all here to learn, because only by understanding that in the fullest sense of that, those terms, will we be able to become stewards and ambassadors for this planet and engage in the healing of humanity as a whole. It's the collective. And we're all waves on that ocean of consciousness. So until we are able to reclaim our power from those things that we claim victimhood or martyrdom from, or oh, they don't understand me and like that. Well, if that's the inner conversation that you're having, then profound self-honesty may be the way to go at this time, because nothing out there can do anything to you without your permission. And I'll leave you with that. Much love. Take good care of yourselves and each other. And I look forward to coming back on the channel as soon as these waves of pure potential sweep over us. The ocean waves are cresting. They are now peaking, going to the very, very top. The moon is almost full. It'll be full tomorrow night. We are within that 24-hour, well, at 10 p.m. tonight, we'll be within that 24-hour period. I mean, on Monday. And then, who knows what will wash on shore. And what will wash on shore will reflect the conversation that you're having with yourself. It's just how it works. All love. Bye. Please like, share, and subscribe, and so that I can get this message out to more people. And leave a message. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're doing and how you are experiencing this incredible whirlpool of power that we're all in the middle of right now. Okay, bye.